Hello, I am Khaled Bedul from Petra in Jordan, which I live in Sayhoun village, which is located in the north entrance of Petra and maybe 2 kilometers away from the main entrance of Petra. We are local community that we used to live in Petra in the cave for 100 years. We count over 500 years we used to live in the cave in Petra, using the cave for livings and raising animals, and that's how the way we make livings for a century of years. In 1985, because Petra became one of the UNESCO site, and then they tried to move us to this village where I am now. It's located in the north entrance of Petra, and it's called Sayhoun village. And since then we live in this village, and then we start to work with tourism. After Jordan make the peace with Israel, start to come more tourism here. They also take our lands, our farming lands. Before even the government here, there was tribes, and they split the land between each others, and our part of our tribes was Petra. And now the government take our farming land, all keep it as a reserve, without giving us any other lands for farming. So it's against the law now to farm inside the reserve, and this is our farming land. And this is also one of the issue here. We cannot have nothing. They give us only the village we are sitting in now, which people stacking over each other because the government refused to give any more land build over each others. I think the most crowded with buildings in Jordan. If you can check out this, and you will show you some videos from the top, you see how stack over each other's the buildings, because there is no enough land to live. And also the land is more drier than before, so we cannot raise animal anymore because the land is very dry, less waters. And then to raise animals you need to feed them and you need to buy the food. So we try to flip to work with tourism. And since then we work with tourism, and also the government also, when they move us, they say you work in Petra. And as you can see, this is our village, and they promise us to give us 1 kilometer this site for more land for the village in the future, for the new generation.
Okay.
In this side here, yeah, where the animals, you can see the goats to the other side. All this area they promise to give us in the future for more new lands for us, for the new generation. And nowadays, when we ask for this land, they say there is no more, we cannot give you this land. You need to go about 15 kilometers north from here, which is away from our works, and they try to split us. And also they make offer, they want to move us from the village, from here, and to move us to this 15 kilometers, which nobody agree about this. And it's like, so they try so many ways to keep pressures on us to make us fed up, but nobody agree, and we're still fighting for this, but we don't know where it's gonna end up. Still until now there is nothing work. And last week they bring the military here, and also there was some Bedouin fight it, but then they move the military, and they say in the beginning of September 2022, just this is in 2 days, they're gonna pass this law, and they're gonna bring the military again if we agree or we don't agree. So if we disagree, they will arrest us all in the jail. There's also about 10 families or 15 families still live in the cave. My aunt, my uncle still live in the cave inside the archaeologist site, and they also try to move them out here.
We still live in the cave here, and there are 35 families live at the snake monument, and they're a Bedouin village. Some of them, he moved him to the village.
And where do you live?
I live here in the cave,
Which cave?
on the other side, over there.
Since Petra became one of the wonders in the world, um, they start to come more tourism in Petra, but the government, what they did, they raised the ticket from 21 JD up to 50 JD for one day in Petra, which this is also broke our works in Petra, because when people pay 50 JD at the entrance, they spend less inside for the local community, which also that we don't take no money from the ticket, zero money for our community. That's the people live in Petra. They didn't give them no money from the ticket entrance for the local community. And now, since many years, they've been givings for the other community in Wadi Musa, for different organizations that to help the local community. If you calculate it all, will go about 15 JD. And then when somebody came from outside, they say, oh, we give the local community money from the ticket. But for us, as a local community was living in Petra, nobody give us nothing since all the year passed, you know. So, and nowadays, since they want to do some things to cross from our village, which should broke our business 90% in Petra, they offer us 1 JD for this one. 1 JD with a community with 5,000 people. Now we are days 5 to 6,000 people. If we split this 1 JD to our community, that should give each one of them maybe 20 JD or 30 JD. And with this rule, if they pass it, is gonna kill about 90% of our work in Petra, because they're gonna take the tourist out of pass of Petra, and many people transport tourism with a donkey, which some people work only the donkey to support their families. This is gone, no more work for them. Some people work in the shops, which people walk one way out, then there is no more work for them, which will kill our community, to make us fed up from the village, to make us leave, which this is not fair at all. So people really like suffering here, because Petra is a big mountains and climbings and hikings and stuff. So, and people before walk from the visitor center to do all these hikes, and then they go back. And the people making their money mostly from the tourism when they come back, you know, because somebody is tired, they ride in the donkey. This is support some family, you know, the donkey. If they do the bus, then the people will go with the bus, and no ridings, no donkeys. So people lost their business. People have their shops also. They sell drinks, they sell souvenirs. And mostly the works, when tourism enter Petra, it's still the beginning, so they didn't do a lot of stuff with the local community. They are watching, and the way back they do most of the stuff, like ridings or sitting in the shops, buying drinks and all of that. So if people do Petra one way, and after they finish, they ride in the bus and they leave Petra, then the local community, all their works is broken. So nobody will work in the donkey, because the tourism, they will ride in the bus and leave Petra. The people in the shops, that they sell drinks, because nobody go back the same way. So they lost 90% of their works, because people on the way down, they are still like fresh, not tired, nothings. They don't want to drinks, they don't want to nothings. So then they leave. They leave with the buses, and that's how people will get killed to death, because there will be no more work. And also they kick us from our land, which it was our land. So this is give the people more harder time for living. And if you want to know the truth and everything, you should come to our village, because the government always give a wrong information for everybody, that which is not truth about us and how they deal with us. So when you travel to Petra here, if you want to not just only stay in hotels and stuff, and if you want to homestay and live with the Bedouin community, and to know just the culture of the people, and to know more, just not to only to visit Petra, to meet the culture and to meet everything, and to know the real stories, you should visit us in Uum Sayhoun village, which is about 2 kilometers away from the main entrance of Petra. You know, we are in the back entrance of Petra, and it's very close. So we welcome everybody, and we like to share our story with everybody.
From the time that I spent with them, before and after the government sent the military to confiscate their property, I can say they truly are some of the nicest people in all of Jordan, contrary to what you may have heard. They are the soul of this place, bringing to life its essence. Without them, Petra would lose its very soul.